I want to welcome you back to Woodworking with Wes. I want to express my appreciation to those who have watched us in our recent kitchen build. Today we're in that kitchen and we're almost all done. I'm going to show you a few things and a few tricks. Let's get started. Along with doing the kitchen, we did a couple of bathrooms in the house also. This bathroom has a linen. This is the bathroom sink here. Linen with adjustable shelves. All nice white interiors with our white melamine. Here's our sink. And extra storage in the nice deep drawers to the side of the sink. And our raised panels sure look good. Here's another bath that turned out very nice. Again, drawers to the side and a nice big sink cabinet. We're back in the kitchen and I wanted to show you the base units of our cabinets. Nice big deep drawers make it easy to get to anything under the counters. Small drawers on the top and big deep drawers for pots and pans and things like that underneath. And soft close hardware. This kitchen featured a nice big corner sink cabinet, and then right next to the sink, even though we kept our 3-drawer configuration, this pulls out and is our double trash can rollout. This is the back side of our Peninsula. The 2 raised panels to the left are false faces, but the 3rd door to the right is actually extra storage underneath. Let's go around and look at the front side. Here is the front side of our Peninsula. Nice granite countertop that our client has put on there. I want to talk about one thing here. I'm going to go ahead and open up this cabinet. You see the nice white interiors with our white melamine. Because of the configuration of our kitchen, our Peninsula is very narrow. It's only 16 inches wide, but it's got a nice overhang for the bar seating. That didn't leave us room for drawers on this side, and that's why we just have doors for extra storage, and then a stack of 4 drawers next to it. Dishwasher and sink. I wanted you to see the nice crown detail that we did all the way around our cabinets. This had a vaulted ceiling, so we put a finished top on top of our cabinets and put a nice crown mold on there, and it made kind of an extra shelf up on top in case our client wants to put anything up top. Nobody does that as much anymore, but they used to do it a lot. There's our nice tall raised panel doors. Here's our microwave cabinet. This is where our stove will be, and back around to those drawers. And there's our refrigerator. This is our pantry cabinet with our rollout shelves. I always make my rollout shelves a little higher in the back. Whatever you put on here doesn't slide off the back, but from the front side you can see it real nice. And again, these are on full extension, soft close. It makes it a nice place to put all of your rollout shelf needs in your pantry. Now you'll notice my pantry doesn't have doors. I messed up. I made a mistake. I'll tell you the mistake I made. The measurement for the doors ended in 7/8 and I made them 7/16. So I made my doors too small. I have to rebuild my doors, top, bottom, and top. In fact, I'm going to make a video next week and show you how I'm going to fix this. Right now I want to show you my stack of drawers. One of the things you need to do when installing drawers in a stack like this is make sure that everything lines up. They need to line up along the sides, and the spacing between them needs to be very consistent. Let me show you how I make sure my spacing comes out right. This is a top drawer to one of our stacks of drawers. The first thing I do when I'm getting ready to install the drawer face to the drawer box is I put it face down and get ready to put my drawer box on, but I want it centered on the drawer face. So I make 2 little spacer sticks that are equal size, and I put them on the sides of my drawer. That makes sure that I'm centered side to side. Now that I have my drawer box centered side to side, I need to make the distance from my bottom of my drawer face to the bottom of my drawer box the same, also side to side. And again, another spacer stick, just like that, flush with the bottom of the drawer box. This is one of the doors. These are the pocket hinges I put on in them. And I want to show you a little trick that you've got to remember when putting pocket hinges on a door. They have to line up. So the way I do it is I just take a straight edge and I lay a straight edge on here, and when I put my screws into my hinges, that makes my hinges line up straight. Because if they're not lined up straight, they'll bind and your door doesn't work correctly. So this is just the way I do it. It's a very simple little way of just putting a straight edge on your hinges, and that makes things work right. Every hinge has a hinge clip and the hinge itself, and they just snap on like that. And there's your hinge. And then these little screws, there's a screw here. Let me get it off. And then there's another screw in here and a screw back there. Those are adjustment screws. And your adjustment screws allow you to move the door in and out, side to side, and up and down. The last thing you do is install the hardware. Now, I make a hardware jig just out of a couple of pieces of wood. You can see how this lines up with the handle that I put on. And I just put it over the corner of the door like this. It's double-sided so that I can do both sides of the door. I marked the center of my stile right here, and then how far up from the bottom of the door that I wanted my hinge or my handle to go. And then I just drill the hole and then put the handle on. And that's just a very simple little jig. It's made with a piece of 1/4-inch plywood or melamine, and just a piece of pine that is nailed onto it. You got to make sure that you've got a perfect right angle, and then you mark your hole where you want it, and there's your jig. Very simple. Let me show you how I do handles on the drawers. I want to show you the handle jig. Now, I'm going to explain a couple of things about it. First off, you need to do is decide how far apart your holes need to be for the bolts. Here is my center line. Here is the center line for the height of the drawer. And then here is how far the bolts are apart. And so I've got them marked and I've drilled holes. I use this to put all the handles on the deal, but let me show you how this works. The first thing I do is I find the center of my drawer and I make a little pencil mark right there, which lines up with the little pencil mark on my jig. The jig hangs on the top of my drawer. I line up my pencil marks, and then this line of holes right here is for this size of drawer. If I'm putting a large handle on, like I just showed you, I do my outside holes, a smaller handle right here, and if I have just a knob in the center of a drawer, there's my center right there. And then on my larger drawers down low, I do the same thing. I mark the center of my drawer, put my jig on here, and here are my handle holes for my large handles down low. You can see how that lines up right there. And that's how you use this jig. And it's just another 1/4-inch piece, a small piece of pine that is nailed onto it, or any hardwood that is nailed onto the top of it. You have to make sure that your lines are square, perfectly square from your board here. I have marked a center line here and then a center line that lines up with it. And then these are spaced out for the width of my handle. And then again, find the center of your drawer, put your jig on there, and drill your holes. Thank you for watching the finish of our kitchen. We're going to provide you with a link to the individual videos that we did for building all of the cabinets and show you how things went together in the shop. And we'll see you there on Woodworking with Wes.